Robert L. Johnson. You know him? First American billionaire. He founded BET, Black Entertainment Television. Well, he told Vice News that all blacks, including him, should get reparations from the federal government. He wants I thought it was 11, $14 trillion in government payments to African Americans because of past social injustice and I guess present too. Anyway, not going to get it. That's not going to happen, but it's an interesting debate, I think. And one of the guys that I follow who writes a lot about this kind of stuff is Jason Whitlock. Do you know Jason? So he's a sports guy. You might have seen him on ESPN, Fox Sports. He was on a Factor a couple of times when I was doing that. And he is a contrarian. He currently works for Blaze News, Blaze Media, does a daily podcast, Fearless, with Jason Whitlock. I want to read you something he recently wrote. Quote, "Since Martin Luther King's death, liberalism has increasingly become our religion and the Democratic Party our church. The rewards for our allegiance are at best disappointing. Our families have disintegrated. Our men have been incarcerated and emasculated. Our communities have been abandoned by high achievers, and our children are confused and resentful of their elders." Unquote. Mr. Whitlock joins us now from Nashville, Tennessee. So people who are in the world of racial politics and who follow the social agenda in this country know that you have taken a huge amount of heat for going against the progressive liberal orthodoxy. Has it been worth it?
I think speaking the truth is always worth it. Bill, the one thing I like to push back on is I get framed as a contrarian, and I think others get framed as contrarians, when really we're just sticking to the worldview that we were born with, or raised with as young people. I was raised in the church, and I was raised as an athlete, and that is what drives my point of view and worldview. It's framed as conservative politically, but I've never even voted. I'm not really into politics. My point of view, though, I guess is conservative because I stick to the values I was taught in the church, and I stick to the values that were taught to me as a football player all the way through college. Those values, the church and football and sports, made me successful here in America. And so, of course, I turn back around and say to young people, these are the values I was raised with, the church, a Baptist, a Christian, the things taught to me in the church. And then these are the values that made me successful as an athlete that were in alignment with a lot of the values I was taught in the church. So I don't consider myself a contrarian, and I kind of push back against it. I'm not offended by the term, but I just think it's inaccurate. I'm someone that sticks to the values I was raised with.
Okay, but you know, and you just wrote, and I just quoted you, that the vast majority of African Americans are allied with the liberal left. And therefore, if you are not allied with them, as you aren't, then you can be accused of being an Uncle Tom, a sellout, and I'm sure you have been. So it gets
No
back.
question.
It gets back to you're doing something that brings pain upon yourself. Correct?
Yes, but I certainly don't want to cast myself as a victim. Let's look at what happened to Jesus for sticking to what he believed and what I believe is the truth. And, certainly nothing that bad has happened to me. Have I paid a price in the secular world and in the political world where Democrats have convinced black people that blackness isn't a skin color, brownness isn't a skin color, it's a political point of view. And I don't share that political point of view because I tend not to share, I don't have any kind of political point of view. I have a Christian point of view. I have the values that I saw my parents use to push me and my brother and my stepsister ahead. And so I just, yes, in this godless world that we have created, an America that has totally stepped away from the Judeo-Christian values that made America great. We've stepped away from those. We've gone the other direction. And in that society, I am shunned by people who choose politics as their religion.
Okay.
And for black people,
They have.
left wing liberal
Right.
politics is our religion, and Barack Obama's Jesus Christ. I reject that.
Barack Obama worked in Chicago. Chicago is now ground zero for African Americans being murdered by other African Americans. Barack Obama does not speak out about it, didn't do anything about it in his 8 years, and neither do any of the African American leadership that I know of. Why not?
Because they are more aligned with politics than they are with doing the right thing. And so, look, there's no political gain in addressing fatherlessness in the black community, because we know that that is at the heart of all the violence you see in inner cities. Where there is no family structure, where there is no male role model, you're going to have violent chaos. There's no upside in that politically. You don't gain voters by addressing those issues. I go all the way back to, I wasn't alive then, but the Moynihan report in 1964-65 that talked about the crisis and at that time, the blacks were called Negroes, and he said crisis in the Negro family, and basically it was a call for America to address and invest in the black family structure, and he warned that if we didn't, there would be a crisis. Lyndon Johnson and the Democrats decided to scrap the Moynihan report and ignore it, and they went with the Great Society Initiative and the welfare check and the government replacing the father and the man in the home. And we are now experiencing 50 years, the ramifications of 50 years of those type policies.
Absolutely right, Jason.
And Obama and these guys, because the Democrats prescribed this drug, they're not going to be the ones to tell you, well, here are the ramifications, here are the side effects of those drugs.
And corporate media won't either, because corporate media is frightened to death of being branded a racist or whatever. Now, I want to bring you back in a couple of weeks, and I want to talk about the media with you. All right? What your lens and what you are seeing in network news and cable news and sports reporting, all of that. Okay? So will you come back in a couple of weeks and talk to us about that?
Love to, Bill, and I hope you're ready to talk about China, because that's where that all leads.
Yeah, we'll
China's
get China right in there,
for
Jason. Absolutely. Happy 4th of July. Thanks for helping us out. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Bill.
Fellow Americans, I am concerned about the U.S. dollar. Huge debt, as you know. Will it stay as the world's reserve currency? That's why now more than ever, I recommend you diversify with gold and silver. And the only company I recommend, and have for years, is American Hartford Gold. I trust them. I've personally done business with them. They sell physical gold and silver delivered right to your door or put inside your IRA. And they make it very easy. So call them right now. Make sure you tell them Bill O'Reilly sent you, and they will give you up to $2,500 of free silver on your first order. Since I have been recommending American Hartford Gold, gold shot up more than 40%. Silver, more than 60%. So don't wait. Call them now. 866-501-5201. 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Again, that's 866-501-5201. Or text Bill to 65532. Bill O'Reilly here. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to the First TV YouTube page. Just hit the big red subscribe button below, and you'll get clips and highlights of my program, The No Spin News, every single day. We'll see you soon.